Sarang sir, we can start, sir.
Okay, sir. A warm good morning to one and all who present here. On behalf of PSNA College of Engineering and Technology and Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, we welcome you all for the Day 5, Session 1 of ATAL sponsored online 5 days faculty development program on perspectives of blockchain integrated with IoT challenges and opportunities. I also extend my welcome to today's resource person, Dr. S.R. Preeti ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, SRM Valdiyamma Engineering College, Chennai. I welcome you, ma'am. Now, I kindly request Dr. S. Vijay Prasad, sir, Associate Professor ECE, to give intro about today's resource person. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. A pleasant morning to everyone. And it's a great pleasure to introduce our chief guest. Dr. S.R. Preeti graduated in ECE from Anand Institute of Fire Technology in 2000. Currently, she is serving as an assistant professor of ECE, Department of ECE, SRM Valdiyamma Engineering College, Katakalaru, Tamil Nadu. She's having over 7 years of teaching experience, and her fields of interest are IoT, image and video processing, machine and deep learning, artificial intelligence, wireless sensor networks, and wireless communication. She is a life member of IETE, ISCE, and CSI, and she has published more than 18 papers in international and national reputed conferences and journals. Once again, it's a great pleasure to welcome you, ma'am. Thank you for accepting the invitation. You can start your session now, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Saravanan sir and Dr. Vijay Prasad sir, for the opportunity, and thanks for the warm welcome.
You can share your screen now, ma'am.
Yes. Sir, can you see my screen, sir? Sir?
No, ma'am.
Not yet, ma'am. Not yet.
Not yet, ma'am.
Now, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. So today we are going to see on the topic of interfacing IoT sensors with Arduino, going on into an hands-on session. Before starting with the hands-on session, we would like to throw a few details about what is Arduino and what is the major use of Arduino. Arduino is an open source physical computing platform. So it is a small microcontroller board which will be plugged with the USB. You can use it along with your laptop for implementing any environment, to sense the environment, for processing, and for going on with a simple establishment. It can also be used to develop standalone interactive object, and it can also be connected to software on your computer. So Arduino as a general is an easy to use hardware or software, which is with a limited establishment of software. It is mainly intended for students, artists, designers, and hobbyists who are doing a lot of mini projects with dice, and a prototype development for large research works can also be done with the help of Arduino. It is programmed using Arduino programming language. This programming language is found to be similar to C or C++. And you can also find this to be easy programmable compared to other microcontroller package. And from the year 2012, when it has won the world's best interaction award, which was sponsored by Google, the Arduino has topped the list on above many microcontroller development platforms. So this is a sample of an Arduino UNO. We have various versions of boards which are developed by Arduino. This is the most general version UNO, which will be used by the beginners starting for establishment for IoT sensing or sensing the environment, and a mini prototype development. This Arduino UNO consists of digital input and output pins, it also have various set of LEDs mainly for testing purpose. You can see it has the connection of the USB to be connected, and power, it also has an external connector. You can also connect it through your USB connector too. You also have the power regulators, and this test LEDs, along with the test LEDs at the end, you have two LEDs especially for transmitting and receiving denotion. Along with the digital pins, the Arduino also carries set of analog input pins, which works, this Arduino UNO works with the help of Atmega microcontroller. And finally, you have the power LED button and a reset button. Now you can see the various other version boards of Arduino, like Arduino Mega, LilyPad, Mini, as well as Nano. You can find this LilyPad, you have various petals like protruding, which is projecting out of this board. It is mainly used for textiles and wearables where you need a mini prototype development. For that purpose, this Arduino LilyPad can be used, and you can see in this various petals you have the various pin versions which are developed over here. So in each petal you have the pin to be connected for processing. Next, it is going to be Arduino Mega. It has very high number of input and output. So when the processing or when the Arduino development is for a huge setup, we can go for Arduino Mega. And this Arduino Mega also has a huge memory space, and this is mainly used for multi-device collaboration and as well as for the executing the entire setup of home automation. Next, we have the Nano, and this Nano is going to be a low cost, which is a small profile Arduino version. Generally, it is used for just to sense a group of sensor gathering their data, just to get the data, or to have a portable environment, a mini device, it can be used. And you can see between the Mega and the Nano, we have the mini versions of the Arduino, which can be utilized for lightweight applications. And this table explains about the four major Arduino boards: Arduino Nano, Arduino UNO, Arduino Mega, and Arduino Duo. So here you can see that Nano is mainly for low cost and small profile and simple projects, which is like using in planes, portable electronics, and for sensor gatherings. Whereas UNO is for desktop prototyping and used with Arduino Shield. So when the students are using, or in the initial level of prototype development, we can first very well try with Arduino UNO before moving on to the other boards. It is mainly used for simple game console, IoT sensor, and testing devices. Mega, which has the high input and output requirements and with more space, it is mainly for multi-device controlling, machine controlling, and an exact implementation of home automation. The Arduino Duo is going to have a high performance prototyping with some more superior analog of input and output pins. It is mainly used for data processing of multiple sources and home automation. So when you are going to do for multiple homes or in a large setup and for a large setup of machine controller. So this table, you have the almost 17 different versions of Arduino, starting from UNO, Leonardo, Micro, and Nano up to Leonardo Ethernet and MKR. You can also see we have some Arduino boards which are developed especially for the industrial usage, like industrial 101 and one UNO with the support of Ethernet. And you can find in this some will be operating with 5 volt and some will be with 3.3, and some has an USB cable support and micro USB support. The network support also has the Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and some which needs an extra fitting to be supported. And this gives the entire digital input output pins, the pulse width modulation enabled pins, which helps us to go deep into the processing. So here you can see few shields which are connected to Arduino. So this Arduino shields are going to be like a printed circuit boards which are connected exact on the top of the Arduino. You can see here the boards are connected on the top of the Arduino for the further processing. So when there is a limited set of pins, if you want to enhance the number of pins to be connected, or number of the sensors, or the number of environment and additional devices and components to be connected to Arduino, we can use the help of these Ethernet shield to be connected so that we can enhance. Here you can find that the Arduino is connected to a Zigbee shield. So this Zigbee shield will help to communicate the Arduino wirelessly, especially for Zigbee communication. And you also have the touch graphic scenes which are connected in through shields. So this touch shields will work as graphic sensors for the various purpose or the application for which developed. Other than this, you also have the relay shield, motor shield, LCD shield, and Bluetooth shield, which are developed especially for the Arduino. And once it has been connected, it helps to ease the operation. Here, it is regarding the powering up of your Arduino. Here you have the external power connector, which is placed besides the voltage regulator, and you also have the USB connector through which you can connect it to the laptop. So this is going to be the adapter through which we are going to power the external power connector. The Arduino can also be connected through the batteries. The picture has been given here. The battery is connected through the external power connector as well as through the pins of ground and 9-volt pins. But when connecting through the battery to the pins, we have to be careful about the polarity. Now moving on to the sensors. So sensor, we have various types of sensor. Here we have just mentioned about the 7 main important types of sensors. Light, which includes light dependent resistor and photodiode. Temperature, involves about thermocouple and thermistor. Force, strain gauge and pressure switch. In position sensor, it includes potentiometer, encoders as well as optocoupler. For the speed sensor, we have reflective or optocoupler along with Doppler effect sensor. And sound, sensor is of carbon microphone and piezoelectric crystal. And chemical, we have in the chemical a gaseous chemical sensor which can detect various gaseous presence as well as the liquids chemicals. So this is some important sensors which are mainly used along with the Arduino for various application. A push button to make the switch to glow on or off. And we also have a potentiometer which functions as a variable resistor. The photoresistor or the light dependent resistor, which its resistance varies with the light. The relay, through which major connections for home automations can be made, which is a switch driven by a small signal. And temperature sensor, which the resistance is dependent on the temperature. The flex sensor and soft trim pot, as well as we have the LEDs to be connected for various particular application. Especially these LEDs and potentiometers and push buttons are useful when we are developing a prototype. And this is going to be a screenshots of sensors taken from Wikimedia. You can see the pressure sensor, ultrasonic, the tilt sensor, infrared motion sensor, and the camera sensor along with the analog temperature sensor. So when we are going for the simulation of the Arduino UNO, before deploying it in the hardware, we have various software simulations which can be tried and the connections can be tested before deploying it in direct hardware. One such software is known as Fritzing. So in this Fritzing, you are supposed to download it into your laptop to enable the working of the Arduino along with the components to simulate the output and see the function and the application in step-by-step process. Next, you have the Proteus, where you can give the various connections of the various elements to the Arduino, and can just see the connection setup. And next is your Tinkercad. So compared to the three, the Tinkercad is found to be most user-friendly, and you can see it runs on the cloud. So we can just log in from our Google account and we can go for implementing, especially for Arduino UNO, and you have now MicroShield and other more boards also coming up with the Tinkercad. And you have a quite a good amount of sensors for trying and other purpose in the Tinkercad. So after Tinkercad, by getting the sensors, the details of the sensor should be pushed to the cloud for various processing and application. For that purpose, ThinkSpeak is very much useful. So this ThinkSpeak will be connected or programmed to the Arduino, so just the data which is gathered by the sensor will be pushed to the cloud. So in the cloud the data will be connected, what each and every sensors and the time at which it sends, everything will be connected, and you can see the graph of the information the sensors collecting through the Arduino in the format of graph or tabular format, and you can use it for further processing of your Arduino. So now we'll go to the live demo of Arduino using our Tinkercad. So I'm moving on to the Google. So in your Google, you can just type Tinkercad. So you can find this, the first one. Once you type Tinkercad, you will be having www.tinkercad.com, which is useful for creating 3D digital designs with the help of online CAD tools. So you can just click on that. So the main advantage of this Tinkercad is that you no need to download or save in your laptop or desktop before doing on with the work. You can just go and sign in and start. So first you are supposed to, as I have already signed in, I'm just going for sign in. Else you have to go to join now and register with your email ID, Gmail email ID and password. So since I have already registered, I'm just signing it with my Google account. So this is the home screen or the home dashboard screen once I enter into the Tinkercad. So here the specialty of this Tinkercad is that I can design various Arduino environmental sensing boards, and also I can handle classes for my students, for our UG students, and also view their projects also with the help of, you can go through this class and teach for those purposes. And here you can find, you can create 3D design circuits, code blocks, as well as you can create lessons. We are going for the circuits for the purpose of seeing how to connect or how to simulate our Arduino. So in circuits, so it displays the set of circuits which I have already tried. Now we'll go to the first step of creating a new circuit. So I'm clicking on create new circuit. After going to the circuits, create new circuit. So you can see once I have given the create new circuit, my screen is visible. This is the place where I am about to create the circuit, and you have the list of components over here. In the components, you can see basic, the Arduino board, and as I told, microbit and circuit assemblies. You have various groupings of the components grouped into 5 major headings. So you can also straight away go to the search and you can search your board. Here I am typing Arduino. You can see you have the Arduino UNO R3. So this is the board which we are going to do. So I'm just pulling out this Arduino UNO 3 and just moving on here. Once I pull out like this, it will come over here. You can see that the USB, there is no connection. Okay. So if it is going to be connected, it will start to simulate. You can also rotate this Arduino by selecting this, and you can give this particular in your left hand side, near your left hand side top, you have the symbol. You can rotate it to your disable position. I'm keeping it in my vertical position. So first I'm just going to do just a sample of LED connection with the Arduino. So for this, next I'm in need of breadboard. So if I'm going to search for breadboard, you can see I have a small breadboard, the original breadboard which we use in our lab, and the mini breadboard. So for me, the mini would be useful. Small, I'll go for the small. Mini also can use. I'm just going with the small. So I'm rotating my breadboard also. It's not necessary you should rotate. You can rotate if you need it. So after having these components, next I'm in need of LED and a resistor. Also search like this. I'm going for basic, so you can see I can find my LED over here. I'm just pulling it out. You have to select it and just pull it out. I'm just placing it on the pins here. After placing it, I'm rotating my LED. And now I'm placing it properly so that it is connected properly. So you can find the LED is connected. And for connecting the LED to the Arduino, I'm in need of the resistor. So I'm choosing the resistor. I'm also rotating the resistor. So now I'm placing it, the resistor, to one leg of the LED. Now I'm going to give the wire and ground for the Arduino as well as to the breadboard. So for my power, so you can see I can choose my various wire colors. Among this set of wire colors, I can choose it. So I'm just having it green. I'll give it and then I'll change. So from here, I'm just clicking on that particular pin. So from once you click, you will get a line, and I'm clicking on the point where I should connect it to the breadboard. So you can see you'll have a red square surrounded by a black outline. So once I click, you can see you have a graph-like structure to point out where I am selecting the wire. So I have given the connection. Now I'm changing the color. So being this a power, I'm going to give it a red color. Now I'm going to give the ground connection. So you can see I have selected ground. You can see that blue line appearing here. Once I select, you can see that blue line like a plotting. So this to the ground, I'm giving it to the ground, and I'm changing this color of the wire to black. Now you can connect to any one of the digital pins to the LED. I'm choosing just pin number 8 and connecting it to the resistors terminal 1. So once you click over there, you can see what terminal you are connecting it. So I'm connecting it. Now I'm changing this wire color to a purple or any color as you wish. You can change and you can connect. Next, I want to ground my LED. So I'm giving a connection from this leg to the ground over pin, and being this as the ground, I'm changing the color of the wire to black. So we have seen that we have given the connection of the components and the elements which we need to work for the Arduino along with the LED. So now, to start for the programming, we are supposed to give it with the code to let it work. So code, you can see here you have output, and this code is like typing, selecting your input. So you can see you have to read, you can select the block which you want, and you can just simulate it for your work, for input, output, and for control. Repeat how many times and etc. for your math work, or else for setting your variables. And you also have blocks plus test, so where you can make use of block as well as you can make use of text, and else you can go for text alone. So once you are going to go for text alone, what you have created in your block editor will be lost. Those who are working with Arduino IDE, this text would be similar to that. So you can go with that. I'm just changing the few of the code. I have already created the code, so I'll just copy it from that. So you can see this, the same connection I have given here, and I have also typed the code over here. So you can see I am giving the LED to the 8 pin. So I have initialized with that. Next, I have started the function of void setup with the pin mode of LED, assigning it to be the output. And you can see in the looping, I am giving the LED to be high for about 1000 microseconds, as well as then low for about the same time period I have mentioned. So after giving the code, you can just copy over here, and you can rename the name what you want by clicking over this. You can just change the name of this, the project which you have developed. And now you can start to simulate. So once giving start simulation, first the initialization of the device takes up. You can see this USB, you can note this USB which has not be connected. Once you start, it will be connected, and you can see the LED glowing on and off. Code section, you can also view the serial monitor. So once I'm going to use the sensors like temperature sensor or other PAR sensor, ultrasonic, where I need my values, the values will be recorded here, and I can note the values over here. So I'm just stopping the simulation. So we'll move to the next experiment. So I'm just moving on to the next experiment. So in the circuits I have already created. So I'll go with ultrasonic first. So this is my already created project. So you can see once I have already created the project, if I open, I'll have this view of the diagram, and I have a button called Tinker This. So if I'm going to press this, I'll go to the screen where I can have my layout. So this is for annotation purpose. You can write your notes, what is here, what is your components you are using, and what is the purpose. You can also close this if you are not in need of the annotation. Here you can see the Arduino is connected to the ultrasonic sensor, as well as you can see it is connected to the potentiometer and to the LCD. This LCD, you can see it has a power button and the register select are connected, and you have the data pins from 4 to 7 which are connected to the Arduinos from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So these are connected to the LCD to let it to give the content of what to be displayed on the LCD. And also you have the power and the ground for the LCD. And similarly, you can see this LCD is also having a control with the help of potentiometer. The brightness of the display, what to be displayed in the LCD, is controlled by the potentiometer. Here you can see you have an ultrasonic sensor which has VCC, trigger, echo and ground to be the 4 pins of the ultrasonic sensor. This trigger pin acts as the input pin for the ultrasonic sensor, whereas echo will act as the output pin. So this is connected to the Arduino with trigger as input and echo as the output. We can go to the code part. So you can see the code for the ultrasonic sensor along with the LCD. As we are including the LCD, we are including the library of liquid-crystal.h, and you can see we are defining the echo 2 and trigger as 3 with to find the duration and the distance at which the obstacle is going to come in an ultrasonic sensor. So this ultrasonic sensor is going to work based on the time measurement. So you can see the time measurement and the distance is taken, and the formula to calculate the same has been put in the loop. And you can also see here in the code we are using serial.begin 9600. The serial.begin 9600 denotes that it will start serial communication through the USB. And this 9600 is going to denote your baud rate, that is how fast the data is sent to the Arduino and how the processing takes place. So this 9600 baud rate denotes that maximum of 9600 bits per second is moved. That is the use of this 9600. So this is code is for getting the values and to measure it from the ultrasonic sensor, and here you can see it controls the liquid crystal display where my first cursor to be placed in the 0 0 position, and what to be written over here, distance in centimeter, and this centimeter will be what it has been calculated through this formula. Right, so I'll just close the code section, and I'll start to stimulate this. So it is initializing and it has started. So to change the obstacle, first we have to click on this ultrasonic sensor. Now you can see there is a cone-like structure above the ultrasonic sensor which denotes the range or the coverage of that ultrasonic sensor. I am just moving my circuit a little bit downward so that I can show you the range of coverage of the ultrasonic sensor. So now you can see the range of the coverage of the ultrasonic sensor. It's a wide range. So some a little bit down. So I can see here. So I can move my obstacle and find the value. So I'll just have like this. So you can see 120 point some fractions difference, 120 centimeters as I'm moving. So this is the range where the ultrasonic sensor can sense. So if I'm going to move once out of that, you can see the distance in centimeter is 334.99. That means it denotes that it's not within the range of the ultrasonic sensor. That is the denotation is given over here. You can see even you can see this ultrasonic sensor cannot detect objects when it comes to very near. You can see very near to the ultrasonic sensor cannot detect. Only from a particular range of about 25 centimeter it can start to detect. So you can see that. Now you can also view the value in your serial monitor. You can just try over that. You can see the various values which are detected will be registered in your serial monitor. You can see the change in the value as I move my obstacle for this ultrasonic sensor. So I'm stopping my simulation. So I'll also show you how this change in the potentiometer is going to cause the change in the LCD to on and off. For that purpose, this potentiometer is being used. You can see in the middle range, light brightness and such purpose. So I'll stop ultrasonic. We'll move to the next sensor. Now this is LDR sensor. So you can see this LDR sensor, the LDR which is over here. This is your LDR, light dependent resistor, and you can see it is not going to have any polarity, and the resistance of this will change dependent upon the light. So when the LDR value is of very high value, it means there is no light at all. When the LDR value is very low, it means it has light. So here the connection through the analog pin A0, the LDR is controlled by the Arduino. You can see the power and the ground pin connected, and you can also have a buzzer to be given to just indicate that amount of light intensity. You can also see here you have 3 different LEDs to denote the when there is very dark, when there is minimal amount of light as orange, and when there is considerable amount of light, it is going to be green. So that is the use of these 3 LEDs. We'll move to the code part. So you can see we are defining the green, orange, red LEDs which is connected to the Arduino. Next, the buzzer which is connected through the 5th pin of the Arduino board buzzer. And you have the sensor LDR which is connected to the analog pin. And we are initializing the integers and moving it through the same serial communication with the baud rate of 9600. You can see based upon the LDR value of 400, 160, you are moving. So when it is going to be greater than 400, so high value of LDR value means no light at all. At that time, we'll have the buzzer to give a sound, as well as the LED will glow in red color. When there is a limited amount of light, you will be having orange with no sound from the buzzer, and green when there is when it is going to be very much lesser. Okay, so now we'll simulate it. So you can see a sound. Click on that, and then you can adjust the amount of light intensity. So this is going to indicate no light at all, whereas this symbol indicate there is maximum brightness of this light. So when I'm going to the maximum brightness of the light, you can see there is no sound from the buzzer, and there is lighting of LED green is glowing up. And when I'm going to move to a normal amount of sunlight quite in the middle range, you can see my orange LED is glowing. And when I'm going to move towards the dark side, you can see my red LED is glowing and it is giving a sound. We can also see the serial monitor, the value of the LDR, you can see with this. So when 303, there is no sound at all. So once I cross 400, you can see I'm going to have the sound. 403, I'm hearing the sound. So now 272, you can see my orange LED is glowing. So when I'm going to move less than 160, you can see my green LED is glowing. You can see the LDR value has been denoted through this serial monitor. So what I said in the PPT as ThinkSpeak, what is being noted down in the serial monitor, through the programming, you can push these values to the cloud and you can process it to wirelessly, or through the cloud, you can process the other end for the application. When I'm going to work on with my real Arduino, I'm stopping the simulation. I'm moving on to the next sensor. So far we have completed about the basic blinking LED, ultrasonic and sensor and LDR sensor. Now we are going to go with the PIR sensor. So here you can see in this PIR sensor also, we have LCD, PIR sensor, potentiometer as well as a buzzer. You can see this potentiometer is used to control what is going to be displayed on the LCD, as we saw in the ultrasonic sensor. And we have a PAR sensor which is going to be material sensitive to IR with 2 slots. Whenever a warm body is passing through, it will cause a positive differential change between the two halves, and that is how the working of the PAR sensor will take place. And this LCD and potentiometer we already saw in this ultrasonic. So here you can see you have what are the terminals. You can see this is going to be a signal pin, and this is your power pin of your PAR sensor, and this is your ground pin. So power and ground, and this signal pin you can see it is connected to number 2 of your Arduino. So we can go to the code part. So as I said, the signal pin is connected to 2. Since we are using LCD, we are calling with the liquid crystal display library, and we are also having the buzzer, which is initial to the pin number 3. So you can see this blue part which is going behind the PAR, and it is connected to the buzzer. So it will denote all clear in the LCD when there is no person interference. And if there is someone intruder in the house, you can see in the 00 from here there is intruder in the house, and it will print the result. So we can simulate and see the result of this PAR sensor. So all clear, there is no introduction. To give the obstacle to the PAR sensor similar to the ultrasonic sensor, first you have to click on that, and you can see just reduce. So you can see this PAR sensor, when we are going into that detection range, it causes the sound. So if I'm going to remain there in the same place, there is no sound. When there is change in the motion, there is a sound. Into and out to the region, when there is change, there is a sound. If I'm outside, it is all clear. If I'm crossing or moving inside the range of PAR sensor, you can see the sound. So this cone is going to denote the sound. So similar to the ultrasonic, you can also view here the serial monitor. I'm not able to show you because I'm getting the box, so I close it. So similar to what is shown in the PAR sensor, you will be having it. So you have the potentiometer to adjust the brightness. So it can be turned off, or you can on the LCD. Hope so you can hear the sound of the buzzer. So we'll move to the next sensor. Next, we are going to see about temperature sensor. So this is the temperature sensor setup. So here you can see what temperature has been recorded will be shown up in this LCD. Similar, the on and off of the LCD is given by the potentiometer. This temperature sensor will sense the temperature around the area, and you can see it has 3 pins: the power, the V out, as well as the ground. So this V out is going to sense and give you the value, and you can see the value is taken to the A0, the analog pin A0 of the Arduino. So this is going to be the set of analog pins, and this is the digital pins of the Arduino, as we have seen earlier. Now we can go to the code part. So here you can see you have the liquid crystal LCD display, which is connected to the same 5 pins in all this ultrasonic PIR, and as well as in temperature. You can see it is connected to the same set of 5 pins along with the register select and everything. 5 pins for data and 1 for register select, and you can also have the sensor input to get the flow temperature value. So this temperature value you can I'm going to show it in Celsius. Based on that, your formula will be changed, whether Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can do the change and do it. So we'll start simulating this. So you can see the display is it in very minimal level a little bit. So if I'm going to increase it, you can see it in brighter. So I can click on this temperature sensor and you can see it is minus 40 Celsius. So I can increase it up to 124 Celsius. So you can see where you have the thermometer like structure with just a dot in the bottom denotes the lowermost, and this is going to denote the highermost. So on this I can vary it from bottom to top just by clicking and dragging it. The same is viewed here. In the code part, you can also view the same in your serial monitor. So you can see here. So minus 40, and each step you can see it is recording the value. We'll move to the next sensor, gas sensor. So here you can see, depending upon the intensity of the gas which is going to pollute the environment, the glowing of the LED will vary. And this is the gas sensor. You can see it is connected to the A0. So most of I've maintained the same pins to be connected throughout the sensors, A0 for that. And here you have the buzzer for the sound, and we'll go to the code. So 234, as we saw in LDR, the same pins are being connected to our LEDs 234, and buzzer is connected to the 0.5, and this gas sensor to the A0, and depending upon the value you can see the LEDs will change. So when the gas sensor is going to read a value greater than 40, it is going to denote high and will have a buzzer sound. If it is going to be between 40 to but greater than 25, it is orange, and less than that it will be green, denoting that there is no pollution at all. Okay, so we'll simulate this now. So I'm clicking on that. So once I click, you can see. So as we saw in ultrasonic and PIR sensor, a cone-like structure, here you can see this is going to be the dangerous gas. I'll just pull out here. You can see this mass of gas. In this thick area inside it, it is highly dangerous, high contribution of gas. And here you can see mild contribution, and here it is very low contribution of gaseous chemical. So I'm just moving it near to the gas sensor. So you can see. So now it is in green LED. You can see when the gas, there is no any movement of this gas, you can see it is green. Now when I'm going to move a little bit, you can see the little bit it's moving over there. You can see the orange LED is glowing. Now also still we have the orange. And this major highly contributed is knowing that you can see the red LED is glowing, denoting it is very dangerous, and also you have the piezoelectric buzzer giving you the sound. So you can see the 3 LEDs and the sound. You can also view the serial monitor. So it is 20, that is the green. So we should see up to 24, you don't have orange. And I'm going for 25, there's an orange. Next, it should rise up to 40 for the buzzer and red to blue. So you can see this value in the serial monitor. So we have seen gas, temperature, LDR, ultrasonic, PAR, 5 different sensors working along with Arduino UNO in simulation. Now we will see all the sensors put together in a setup of an home automation environment. So as I told you, it is helpful for prototyping. So this is how it can be helpful when you are going to develop a full-fledged project or when going on with your research. Just a prototype you can creating with Arduino is itself prototype creation. But if you are going to have the simulation, you can just simulate it and then you can move on with the connections and the checking. So here this is home automation using Arduino. You can see you have the Arduino, you have an ultrasonic sensor, PAR, and you can see you have this for controlling the DC motor, for controlling the power at which the fan is going to rotate, right? And then you have this micro servo motor to control the door opening and closing of the door, right? And along this you have this L2930 3D. Mainly for this is used as a push-pull 4-channel driver to work with your diodes and other purposes. So you can see most we have covered this temperature, ultrasonic as well as PAR sensor. Now we are going to see how this group put together works and controls a small home. We'll go to the code part and then go for the simulation. So you can see the usage of the micro servo motor. So we are calling in the servo and then we are giving the pin as 7 to control it, the servo pin. And you can see the same usually for all the experiment default for the serial communication of 9600 baud rate is only used always. You need something for the change, you can go to the list for which chain. So you can see the conversion of time into distance and inches for the ultrasonic sensor over here, and then you can see the PAR which controls the status of the LED lights. So if the person enters the control, so here we are using LED light, but in actual deployment we can control the light bulbs or the tube lights. And then this temperature is going to control the DC motor, that is with the DC motor will control the speed at which the fan is going to rotate. So that is the code for it. So we will see the intent simulation. So the simulation has started. So now you can see it is around 5424 rotations RPM, rotations per minute. That is what given in this DC motor. So now I'm going to change my temperature to a very low temperature. You can see it is now 0 RPM. So in -40, no one needs a fan. So it is in 0 RPM, right? The speed is controlled based on the temperature. So as I'm going to move the temperature, now you can see it is around 5400. So I'm going to move to a very high temperature, and also you can see you will be having the maximum, right? And here in the initial you will be having a minimum. So the rotation of the fan can be controlled with based on the temperature. Next, it is the PAR sensor. So the motion of a person in the PAR sensor range, you can see the LEDs glowing. Right, it will glow for a particular second and then it will switch off. You can see the LED glowing, the change. Right. Now we'll go for this ultrasonic sensor. So the ultrasonic sensor, a person has entered and it is coming near. So once he's near, you can see the servo motor has opened and now the door is closing. So the servo motor works to open the door and then it closes the door. So I'll show it again. See, the door closes now. Now again you can see it is opening and then it closes the door again after some time. If it is going to be here, it stands still because the person is there. Right? After moving away, sometime the door will close. Now we'll move to the serial monitor. So you can see the temperature is keeping on reading, whereas this and all we have not taken into account to read by the serial monitor. So once if we do, it will print that value also. So these are the simulations. So now we'll move back to our PPT. So that's about tinkering the Arduino. So this is going to be the real Arduino Fate program tested with the real Arduino hardware. So going on with that. So I have this is going to be my Arduino IDE. I'm using this version. So you have to download and save it in order to utilize this or enable your Arduino to work with your hardware. So here I have already have my Fate program. So you have to file new or open. So you can give a new book. So it will open a new page and then you have to give the codes for the fading or what particular processing or what program. This version of Arduino software is Arduino 1.8.12. Right? You have various other versions. So here this is going to be the Fate program where I have given the LED to the 9th pin and you can see fading means blinking is just on and off. Fading means the amount of brightness at which the LED is glowing will vary. So it is from 0 and 5. That is the brightness of the LED is divided in 5 different types. And you can see here it is controlled by this brightness and brightness plus fade amount. From 0 to 255 it will vary. For 30 milliseconds we will have that dimming effect. After typing your entire program, what you need in this, so file new, right, in file new you can type this entire program and then you can give the name of the program what you want. Then the next step is to verify the codes are correct, and here you can see you will be having the compiling sketch and you can see the green bar going on where the compilation of the entire sketch what you have given will be done. And once the green bar has been full, you can see that how much percentage of program storage space is utilized and what are the global variables utilized of dynamic memory. Everything appears over here. And you can also see the comment of done compiling. After verifying your code, the next step is to upload the code. Upload the code to the hardware which is connected through the pen drive slot of your laptop. So before that, you have to go to tools and you can see board. I have selected Arduino UNO. So which type of board you are connecting, or for which type of board you are doing the code, you are supposed to select that particular code and board, and you have to select it, right? And you are also supposed to go for with this port. This port denotes you have in USB various slots and you can connect various elements to your USB. So to which USB port you have connected to your Arduino. So once if you connect your Arduino UNO, you in the port it will enable, and you will have port 5, port 4. You can select which particular port you have connected the Arduino, and next step is to upload. So since I have not connected my Arduino, it will throw an error. But once you do that, after compiling switch, you can see it will be properly done. The uploading part will be properly done. And once this uploading has been done, you can find the Arduino to run like this. You can see the fading of LED. So you can see it has been connected to the laptop. So similarly, without connecting the first initial step, without here you can see we have connected the LED to the 9th pin. Without any connection of any LEDs, we have test LEDs. You can use the test LEDs to blink that. So for that, I'll just move to that particular program. So this is my blink program. So you can see you will not initialize any pins, as I have initialized here int LED is equal to 9. No need to initialize any LED pin. You have to just go to pin mode and LED built-in LED. I am setting it as output high and low and utilizing that. Similarly, after doing this, you have to verify and then upload. And after uploading, you can immediately find your Arduino to work in this blink mode. You can first try this program. You can see this LED. So once the program is uploaded, I have said the tick mark after verifying uploading, you can verify the glowing of this. You can see this is fading program. Now it is changing to blink. Before changing to blink, you just visualize here fading program going in. Now the program is uploaded and then my LED blink program is done. So the switching between the two programs, you can see how the transmitter and receiver is denoted by the LED changes of the Arduino. So this is going to be the touchless dispenser, which was created by our SRM Valiamai Department of ECE. During the last lockdown, phase 1, we created this with the help of Arduino UNO as well as ultrasonic sensor, which is connected through the relay, right? Through the relay for the motor, you can see here the motor is inside this container, and ultrasonic sensor, the hand should be placed between this pipe and this ultrasonic sensor, and this relay then will give the signal for the motor to work, and only few drops of sanitizer will come through this hole. And you can see this Arduino is powered with the battery. So you can go to any place, you can keep it in restroom, wherever you want. Just by changing the battery, you can work with this touchless dispenser. This is another project of intelligent water monitoring system using Arduino. So here it is mainly used to check how the quality of the water is, whether the pH, the turbidity and others measurements are made. So this is going to be the connections, and this is the prototype connection of that. So you can see here the pH sensor has been immersed and the turbidity, and this has been simulated to be like a tank-like structure, and the flowing of water through the pipes so that it can turn on this speed of the water, can turn on the micro turbine to generate the power. So various that implementation was done by my UG students, and you can see they have linked it with the PingSpeak, the Arduino program. You can see that they are utilizing Arduino UNO. We can see the pH sensor value, and once they change the water, can change in the value, the turbidity value, pH value, everything changes. It just takes some time to sense, and then it changes the value. So you can see through the ThinkSpeak and usage of that, they also get the message through the phones denoting if there is something wrong in their water or high risk, pH level is low, the risk is high. They get a message to their phone, GSM and other things. So this is the ThinkSpeak monitor, the monitor system which they have been using. So it is just sent to the cloud, and through that they get the data, and the processing has been done, and they get the message to this side. API.ThinkSpeak, you can see that they are sending it through the ThinkSpeak through the command. And as they change, the graphs get changed. You can generate various graphs from that software itself. So you can see the graphs generated by the water management monitoring system. So these are the references for which I have used to collect the resources about the Arduino and the Tinkercad website, as well as few of the works which we have already done with the Arduino utilized. So we are also working along with the Raspberry Pi. Compared to Raspberry Pi and Arduino, Raspberry Pi is a single board processor which you can use for good applications. But if you are not in need of such a processor, you can go for Arduino itself to create simple projects where your power and other energy utilization will be utilized much. So I end with the saying that there are two fatal errors that keep great projects from coming to life. One it's not finishing, and one it's not starting. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Sir? Sir? Any questions and queries? So I have a few questions posted in my chat box. First is how to select serial monitor option in Tinkercad, and which simulator is good for Raspberry Pi 4? Okay, so for Raspberry Pi 4, and can we stimulate Raspberry Pi? You cannot simulate it using Tinkercad. It is not at all possible. You cannot use it. But for Raspberry Pi simulation, we don't have a great work as it is done with the Tinkercad for the Arduino. But you can have one more product called KNE. You can try that for your Raspberry Pi. I'll just post it, KNE. So you can try that. If you want, I'll just share it. 1 minute. I'll just share the screen of that, which I have prepared for another. So you can see this particular is I think you can see my screen now. This particular KNE is going to be quite a simulator which can be used for Raspberry Pi. It is like a drag and drop of your IoT project builder, but you cannot expect as such working and as such simulation effect as you would have found in your Tinkercad. That is one of the drawback. It is not fully developed, you can say, might be quite some time you can have this development. And one more question regarding the how to view the serial monitor. Yes, for medical image processing, you can use Tinkercad, provided if you have the elements which are required for medical image processing is present in your Tinkercad. You can just view in this list of the components you have. So as I have told you here earlier, many of them are now working with this microbit, but it's for very school level children. It's not even like Arduino, but you can just give a try if you need it. But you have to see whether the components are there. If you are going to work with this set of components, then that is fine. So one of you have asked about how to view the serial monitor. You have to go to the code section and going to the text. One minute, I'll just so when you are going to develop the project, so in this code session, you have at the last, you have here a serial monitor. So you can open and you can see once you are doing the process, you can view the, so I'm going to give start simulation. So it's working. So now you can see the value which is detected by this gas sensor will appear in serial monitor. So that's how it has to be done. Thank you, ma'am. Any other queries you can ask?
Participants, you can ask your questions. I think most of the queries have been cleared, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful session, ma'am. It was very informative and you taught in a very clear way, ma'am. Thank you once again for joining with us. And there is one small question from Iraq Ahmed. Is there any simulation for blockchain in IoT?
Blockchain, so as I said, for medical image processing, the similar, if you can use the elements which are listed down there, you can use it. Especially for blockchain, I have not found anything so far.
Thank you once again for accepting invitation, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we can leave, ma'am. We'll have a discussion with the participants.
I would also like to thank Dr. Vijay Prasad sir and Dr. Prashant sir for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks.